Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to meet Laura. Hi Laura.
I'm Bob.
Welcome to the channel. Our audience will love you and your story, and you are in a beautifully decorated Prius.
Yes.
And how long have you been out living on the road?
Since September 7th, 2016.
2016.
Yes.
That's almost 8 years. Wow, that's amazing.
That's for sure.
I don't find a lot of people that have been out here for a long time. Why did you end up living on the road?
When I got clean, I had to leave everybody that I knew, my partner, my friends, from drugs, and I was still very sick. I'd been sick all my life. I didn't finish high school. I'd been alone most of my life and heavily medicated since I was 15. Something came over me when I finally lived alone, and I realized how isolated people were and nobody walked around and I couldn't meet anybody. My mom, born on Christmas, on the 100th year of the parks, she said, laying in bed on Christmas Day, "You have to see the Grand Canyon. It will change your life."
She's right.
Right? And so that I had a hysterectomy, my last surgery. They're going to keep going. But yeah, I just got healthier and healthier. And I asked Mother Earth to get to know her. And I had actual miracles happen. And I hadn't driven in 6 years. And I got a car within 15 days. I threw my dogs and cat in there, and I had plans to go south and I went north, and I planned to go east and I went west. And my first tent I ever pitched and slept in my whole life was in Seneca, New York. And then I went to Standing Rock, and I haven't been back inside really since.
And so really it was kind of a health crisis and a life crisis?
Yes, as I've come to identify that addiction and health is really a spiritual crisis.
Yes.
Yeah, finding my lineage and my grandmother, finding out of her Native American history, just everything changed in me. And I was given some roots at Standing Rock from an herbalist, and I had relief in days from something I had multiple surgeries for, from chewing on a nasty black root. And that was the beginning of me understanding food as medicine and nature as healing.
And so your health was really pretty bad when you came out. You were nearly death's door.
Since before I was born, they told my mom she couldn't have kids. I was in an incubator. I didn't get a live certificate for 17 days. And
wow.
My whole life, it was like, you're going to die, something, just always. And it really came down to, I read Chief Ten Bear's quote about, "I was born upon a prairie where the light of the sun was broken by no thing, and I hope to die there and not within walls." And that really struck me, that if I was going to go, I wasn't going to go in a hospital and I wasn't going to be alone anymore. I was at least going to go see something and see what I could do. You know, I didn't really expect much, and I had kind of given up on people, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my way to being feral, like I'm just going to go be in the woods with my dogs and cats or something. But I'd really given up on people, and it's taken years of meeting outdoor people and camping people and park people and homeless people to believe in people again.
So this really has been a healing journey in every way, physically and emotionally, spiritually.
Yes, I am reborn.
Well, I've been doing this quite a while, and I have known at least 1 or 2 dozen people who say the same story. They were health problems, death's door. If I'm going to die, I'm going to go die under my own terms in nature, and here you are. And like you, many of them put off death for a very long time.
Reading about John Muir helped.
Mm-hmm.
When he would go back to San Francisco with his wife and kids, he'd get sick just from being inside. And that helped me. And reading about Thomas Merton, and that there are people that are hermits, and it is okay to be alone. And there's nothing wrong or weird with you, and you're not dangerous or crazy. You could be like state certified crazy, but that doesn't mean you're bad crazy.
So it's been quite a journey. And did you start out in a Prius?
No, I had a Hyundai Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm.
My first 4-wheel drive. I got it stuck immediately. The first forest I went to had lots of problems. How did it go? Rats got in it.
Yeah.
Rats got in it the first time I left it alone. And then I had a Nissan Versa. I spent 2 winters in that without the windows going up. And the last 2 years have been in this.
Yeah. And the Prius is a really good answer for this.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Especially to stay warm when you need to run the car in the wintertime and stay warm. It doesn't use gas the whole time.
Well, can we take a look around? It'll take hours and hours to do this tour, but we could give it a shot.
Okay.
All right, let's do that.
Okay. I eat a lot of nutrient-dense powdered foods. I got off of chocolate and coffee, and I've gotten all kinds of, yeah. And then other than that, I have some farm food here. I started drawing herbs, and I have some oregano in a glass. I'm going to make soup, and I reuse every bag. I have a bag of bags. I hope everybody has a bag of bags at this point. A lot of food is down there. And there's a dog food container and a water container, and the rest is just my bed. I don't have any, I've never carried any tools. I have one tiny solar panel about the size of a piece of paper. I cook on a kettle. I make a fire. I've never carried fuel.
And that burns wood that you find.
Yes, I mean trash, little things, anything that you can break with your hand. I've never had to carry an axe. I've never had to carry a knife. And I'm pretty good at making a fire now.
Yeah, I bet you are. And so, you know, you don't have a lot of room. You just kind of, there's Bruno.
There's my space heater, my companion and security.
And so you just got a mattress and...
Yeah, these are just a bunch of, I mean, I even have stuff from the trash my friend found from packing. This is a boat mat from Key West, from down in Key West at a thing. Under here is all kinds of storage food. There's my tent. And so I'm using my tent and the top thing as more padding. And there's like emergency dry food underneath. But for the most part, I eat very simple. I eat raw foods. I eat oatmeal and peanut butter. You know, the more I move around, the more able I am to get in little positions. And the more healthy I get, the less I hurt. So it's pretty good, you know. And I just move a lot of stuff up front. And I'm always moving stuff around. Things are always different. Pretty cool. And it's good to know. I'm so happy that other people are getting outside and moving around and talking to strangers in a good way.
So some basic questions. How are you supporting yourself?
I've received Social Security since I was a kid from my father's once my father passed. And that was what gets me through right now. I started to move what I would use for rent into healthy food. I paid off a lot of medical debt. I finally ended up stopping in order to get a better car.
So you just let nature be your healer.
I do. I ground. I go out in the rain.
So it's really back to basics for you, just the way humans have always lived.
Right. The complete opposite of how I was raised, to consume and compete, was really a lot of suburbia in Ohio. You're going to consume a lot as you can. You're going to compete. You know, you're going to have a time scheduled. And I went from being addicted to drugs and living an absolute disgusting mess to living alone and just being like, how am I using this many spoons a day? And so angry at dishes and things to eat. Yeah, now I have a spoon and a knife, and it's pretty great. It is simple. Simplicity, you know, whatever that song is, a gift to be simple. It really is. And you start to notice what really matters. If anyone would have came to me 15 years ago and said this was me, I wouldn't have been able to comprehend it. I wouldn't have been able to believe it. And there's no way I could have gotten here. I believe in the magic of Mother Nature. I believe in the consciousness of the universe conspiring to help us to be better people. And I think a lot of us, that is getting outside. That is communing with animals. That is being in the rain and being okay with the weather. You know,
sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're cold.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of mosquito bites.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be cold. Don't be afraid to sweat. It's great. It's a beautiful world we live in. And I didn't know it until I got out here.
Right.
That's for sure. I had definitely given up. I had multiple suicide attempts. I had nothing to live for. And even if I'm not doing anything, I help people. I give money when I can. I've gone places and I could feel those things come back to me when I would get a flat tire. And a blind man changed my first flat tire. Yeah, if you haven't gone out here yourself, there's a beauty in the mystery of something that you can't see and trusting in it, you know? You don't have to call it God, you don't have to call it creator, but it's out there. And if you ask, it'll come and running for you.
Yes. And you've done it more pretty totally and intensely. And a lot of people won't and can't. But to any degree, you're willing to go back to your roots, to live closely connected to nature, to cooperate, find compassion in your heart, boy, life can be really good.
Once again, 15 years ago, if you looked at me, I would have been like, you are crazy. If I couldn't believe this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So life's been good.
life is good.
And anyone out there that is not as courageous, well, courageous is part of it, I think, but you were kind of had no choice. You were compelled.
I was compelled. It did take courage. It took courage, and it's taken courage
Every day.
to stick to it.
Hmm.
But I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I know that help is always coming because I've learned how to help, and therefore I know how to receive help. So I'm learning that beautiful lesson of how to love and be loved, even if it's from strangers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, one more question I always have to ask. How do you go to the bathroom in such a tiny space?
I am tiny, and I just have a pot, and that's it.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for sharing your life with us and your way of thinking. And it's just, I just hope many, many people will see this and take it in and be transformed.
Thank you.
So, folks, I believe you've got something really wonderful out of this little visit. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.
If I could say thank you to the Witten family of Tupper Lake, New York, and thank you to the Elwell Reservation, to just give thanks to those people, those are the two big shout outs I would give.
Very good.
Thank you.